Caught my heart about 1, 2 times. Don't need to question the reason I'm yours. I'm yours. I know the earth will lose a fight just to see you smile. Cause you got no flaws. No flaws. I'm not trying to be your part-time lover. Sign me up for that full-time.
Good morning. It is my great pleasure to be the first person to welcome you to our first ever virtual PACE-bound for the New York City campus, virtually. I'm Nicole Salambini, the University Director of Transfer Enrollment, the Visitor Experience, and one of the Directors of Admissions. Congratulations, everyone, on your acceptance to PACE. We know that choosing the right college is a major decision for many of you and can be a long journey for you and your parents. So on behalf of PACE University's community, thank you for choosing PACE. We are so grateful that you took the time to be with us today. We have visitors from all across the country. We also have parents in the audience who are alumni of PACE. And if you were on campus with us today, we'd be giving you a pin that says PACE University Alumni to show your PACE Center spirit. So the next time you're on campus, be sure to stop by the Welcome Center to grab one of those pins. Today's program, you'll hear from our president, Marvin Krisloff, a number of dynamic current students, and take a virtual campus tour of our newly renovated campus and surrounding New York City neighborhood, and have the opportunity to ask questions throughout the event. We have admission counselors and housing staff standing by to answer your questions in the chat feature of this event. So even though we aren't with you on campus today, I'm confident that your experience will still have you excited about the academics, internship opportunities, social life, and community that awaits you at PACE. So let's get started with our program. I'm honored to introduce you to our president, Marvin Krisloff. Marvin is a huge advocate for our students and puts their success at the forefront of our mission. He is actively engaged with students in the classroom, teaching at least one course each semester, and outside of the classroom at many of our student events, like karaoke in the cafeteria and midnight breakfast. Marvin has demonstrated great leadership, especially over the past few weeks as we've moved to remote learning and working, and has always puts the concern of our students and their experience at the forefront of all of our decision making. So without further ado, it is my pleasure to turn this over to our president, Marvin Krisloff.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Virtual PACE University. I'm very sorry we're not seeing you in person on campus, but we're very happy you're participating in this Zoom conference today. To our students, first I want to say congratulations. You worked hard, you believed in yourself, and you were admitted to PACE University. We're thrilled that you're here. To the parents, the guardians, the family and friends alongside of you, congratulations to you too. You've supported these students, you've nurtured them, you've guided them, so they're now ready to embark on this next chapter of their education. We're looking forward to working with you and these smart, ambitious students in a partnership that will prepare them for successful careers and rewarding lives. Now, it's my job today to tell you why you should come to PACE University this fall. If we were on campus today, we'd be meeting in our beautiful student spaces in One PACE Plaza. We unveiled those this year, and it's just part of the first phase of a major overhaul of our New York City campus. The new One PACE Plaza has big glass walls looking out over New York, and I think it's a great metaphor for the educational model we believe in here. When you come to PACE University, New York City is your campus. So as you know, you're in the middle of the city. You're right downtown, across from City Hall, next to the Brooklyn Bridge, blocks from Wall Street, with subway access to everywhere. Being part of the city is the key to what we call the PACE Path, which is our unique educational model. Through the PACE Path, we combine world-class academic instruction with real-world hands-on experiences that lets you actually do the things you're learning about. It means our graduates are prepared to hit the ground running in their careers when they graduate. We have one of the largest internship programs in the New York metro area, and we have great relationships with all the leading employers, from Big Four accounting firms to global tech companies to healthcare to government important nonprofits, and art organizations. For our performing arts students, we have great connections to talent agents and casting directors throughout the city. And the PACE path works. With the help of our amazing Career Services Department, PACE students graduate into great first jobs that launch them on amazing careers. Students, we know that PACE University will change the trajectory of your life. This is an extraordinary, special place. We have wonderful, inspiring faculty. We're all mastering remote learning now, and I myself I'm teaching a class on public education, and I'm using Zoom for the first time. And I think it's going pretty well. And that's what I'm hearing from students. We're all doing well, and we're eager to see you on campus in our classrooms next year. We have a tight-knit, supportive community here, one that's staying connected even through this remote learning period, and we cannot wait to get together again this fall. Most of all, as you'll hear today, we have the most amazing students. I hope you'll come and join them. I know you're going to learn a lot from this virtual Pacebound today, and I can't wait to see you this fall. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce one of the most engaging, fun people I've ever met, our amazing Dean of Admissions, Andre Cordon.
Thank you, President Krisloff. Welcome, 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 and good morning. Come on, guys, you can do better than that. Good morning. Yes. Well, congratulations again. It's never enough to say it. Congratulations again on your acceptance to Pace University. It is a pleasure to be here and have the opportunity to talk to you about Pace University and why I believe it is such an extraordinary place. Our institution is known for many things: excellent academic preparation, real-world experience, with the ever-changing world of work, and our location. But what truly sets Pace apart is truly embodied in the notion of opportunities. Our institutional model is indeed opportunity for all, and PACE provides a rich and wonderful opportunity to its students in a number of important ways. With 2 undergraduate campuses offering 2 very exciting ways of getting a quality education and a great start in life. PACE supports its students and parents and works together to ensure success and to find a home base away from home. It is truly a different kind of place. As we all work together towards greatness, creating an engaged community, and putting students first in all that we do. We are so excited. I'm so excited for all of you. So just a moment. Once again, give yourself, mom and dad too, a round of applause, please. Okay. Listen, at PACE, it is all about you. So we offer a host of services and opportunities so that students can devise their own path. You can be undecided, come in and create a major and 2 minors, or vice versa. You can take a travel course, decide to study abroad for a semester. We advise all students to take at least 3 internships by the time they graduate. I know of one student who had 10 internships before they graduated and had a job lined up. We are number 2 in the nation and number 1 in New York for upward mobility of our students. Our career services is one of the best, with Forbes stating that Pace University will make you rich. US News World and Reports, best return on investment. And Business Insider, number 1 most underrated in the nation. We get our students jobs. No, actually, careers before or upon graduation. Students may gear their paths in the cultural arts by performing or working on campus as an usher, stage, or technical crew. They can participate in faculty-led or student-led research and then present that research at a national conference or national competition. Our students participated and won the National Federal Reserve Challenge 4 years in a row, beating schools like Stanford, Harvard, Princeton. Students in computer science have traveled to Norway for a product development project. They sponsor robotics and Lego competitions and even had hackathons. Now, if that doesn't get you excited, picture yourself here, downtown Manhattan, walking around City Hall Park, the financial district, smell that money in the air. Maybe check out Battery City, see a free concert, eat great, but cheap, explore museums, shop for bargains. Everybody loves a bargain. Living downtown is exciting. And having our community downtown has greatly enhanced the spirit of Pace Manhattan with campus celebrations that have galvanized our community. Broadway shows, going to see the Yankees, the Giants, the Knicks, team. Activity fairs, fall, spring fest, film screenings, amateur night, silence dance parties. We have access to it all, on and off campus. New York has something for everyone. Here, you could be the new you. You can test out a couple of yous, of course, safely, come on. But always be true to you, to your core values, the true you, and invest in yourself. And here at Pace, we help you do that. Now today, once again, you're gonna hear a lot, you're gonna see a lot, you're gonna get so much information, just enough. Our students are here to share with you their experience, their path. Our wonderful admissions counselors are here to help answer your questions. This is the journey, and we're here to support you on that journey. At the end of this, and between maybe sometime in the summer, we hope to bring you on campus so to be live in the flesh. Between now and then, you may just feel it. We hope you do, and hear. And if you do, if you don't, that's okay. Once again, it's a journey. We're here to support you. So in the fall, when I see you, you can stop, wave, and just go like this. I'll know what you're talking about. We'll know what we're talking about. Other people may not, but we'll know. So I thank you again for being here today. We're so excited. It's such a pleasure to be here. I have so much gratitude to be here to present to you. And now I want to bring up one of the great students that are here at Pace. Next up is one of our students, Sharina Medford. Sharina is a junior performing arts major and also an honors college student. She has been killing it here at Pace and has already made her Broadway debut. Sharina, I turn it over to you.
Thank you, Andre. Welcome, everyone. Congratulations on making it this far, and I hope you're excited to begin your college journey. My name is Sharina Medford, and I am a born and raised New Yorker from Queens. I am a senior undergraduate honor student, obtaining my Bachelor of Fine Arts degree in commercial dance from the Dyson College of Arts and Sciences, with 2 minors in sociology and anthropology and urban studies. Some backstory about me is that I am a graduate from LaGuardia High School, also known as the Fame School. And there, I got involved in many musicals, which motivated me to apply to Pace for their acting programs and dance. I also applied to Alvin Ailey Fordham University. I was accepted into both schools and Pace acting and dance programs. I had a tough decision to make, but in the end, I chose the commercial dance program because they provide vocal and acting classes with rigorous dance training. Once entering Pace, my Pace path became an adventure. Freshman year, I became a Pathfinder in which I showcased my room to prospective families, and I also became a tour guide. While holding these jobs, I was also voted secretary for the Pace National Honor Society, in which I held many fundraising events. I was also a Spirit Center ambassador, in which I helped plan events for incoming freshmen for their first semester, so that they can bond, make friends, and enjoy themselves. Moreover, I became a dance audition assistant to my commercial dance program, where I worked close in hand with the directors of my program and assisted them with the auditions. I became that person both my peers and directors could turn to relay information back and forth. Sophomore year, I became a desk office assistant in the housing office and a resident assistant in one of our upperclassmen residential halls, 55 John Street. Being an RA requires a lot of you and your time, but I've enjoyed every moment of it, from gaining leadership skills to building new friendships and relationships with people of all majors and career goals. While being a commercial dance major, I got to choose my various academic courses. I knew I had to minor in sociology, anthropology, and urban studies because I took an online forensic chemistry course that opened my eyes to going in depth with forensic anthropology, which fit under the umbrella of both minors. Moreover, my sociology and psychology classes were some of my favorite academic classes to attend because my professors have been amazing by providing many readings and resources that made me realize that I love learning about this information. Junior year snuck around the corner, and I found myself in another state. I was honored to be a part of the first junior class of the commercial dance program to go to Los Angeles, California for a semester. I was able to make connections that now set me so close to my dreams and goals. I performed for the launch party of the FX Fosse Verdon Show, which stars Michelle Williams and Sam Rockwell in attendance, as well as many others. I also got signed with an agency through my exposure in LA, and I have been auditioning and booking since then. For instance, I was able to book my Broadway debut with the Westchester Broadway Theater, performing in On Your Feet this past summer. A memorable moment for me was when the cast and I got to FaceTime Gloria Estefan, and she shared with us the Cuban culture and her life so that we could best perform her story. What an amazing experience that was. And now, senior year comes along. Time really flies by, y'all. Another job I picked up was becoming a performing arts student aide, in which I assist all the director heads of the performing arts programs and help out with auditions. Being a Fort Simers honor student, I have come to complete a senior thesis, and so I've decided to be the first in the dance program to do a creative thesis with 2 other students in which I am producing my own show. Our show collaborates art, graphic design, film, literature, and dance to understand the meaning between the opposition of words, referencing sociological and psychological aspects. I'm so excited to work with my fellow talented peers in the Performing Arts School to make this show a success that will go down in history. So my goals after college are to be starring on Broadway shows such as Hamilton, West Side Story, and many more, and in TV and film, so please be on the lookout. I still haven't decided if I'll move to LA or stay in New York post-grad, but I will go wherever the job takes me. I am so excited for my future, and PACE plays a huge part in the person I've become and what I've accomplished. PACE is a place for me, and my PACE pride couldn't shine brighter enough. Something I'd like to leave with you all today is to stay open-minded and don't be afraid to explore the opportunities that come your way. Because if I didn't, I wouldn't be here today speaking to you all about my achievements. Help out wherever you can and do things outside of your comfort zone. It will all pay off one day as it has for me. I wish you all the best of luck in your future endeavors, in your journey and your college journey. Our next student speaker is Veronica Cabrera. Veronica is a senior Dyson student who has a really unique PACE path of not only switching majors, but switching schools within PACE. I will let her fill you all in on the details, including a fun next step after graduation. Veronica, you are up.
Awesome. Thank you, Sharina. Hi, everyone. My name is Veronica, and I was born and raised in Kingston, New York. I'm currently a senior communication studies major here at PACE with a minor in sociology and anthropology. A little bit about what I do on campus. I'm involved in a few clubs and organizations like our advertising club, our marketing association, our Active Minds here at the university, along with our programming and entertainment board, and our queer society. A little bit about what I've done on campus besides that is during my sophomore year, I was a peer leader and peer mentor, where I was basically helping first year students with their transition from high school to college, which was really an amazing experience and opened up so many new doors. During my sophomore year, I also became a tour guide on campus, one of my favorite positions here at the university. And I also picked up my very first internship during my sophomore year. I interned at DKC Public Relations, where I was in their hospitality and lifestyle department, where I got to send out PR packages to celebrities all across the world. Some of the celebrities I got to send some stuff to was Taylor Swift and Cardi B, which is really awesome. During my junior year, I interned at DoSomething.org for my first semester. There I was in their special projects and events department. And one of the biggest projects that I worked on while I was there was a Get Out the Vote boot camp during the 2016 elections. And it was a great time. We got over 100,000 people registered to vote, which was amazing. And then during the second semester of my junior year, I actually had the opportunity to go abroad to Barcelona, Spain, where I was there for 4 months. And not only was I taking communications courses, I was also volunteering some of my free time abroad at a local nonprofit, raising awareness of the social injustices going on within Spain. Shortly after coming back from my time being abroad, I landed my third internship at Columbia University in New York City. and I was working in their student services and residential life department as in their high school program, basically working with students who are interested in getting that college experience for the first time. One of my favorite things while at Columbia this past summer was when I took a group of students on a Broadway show field trip. Not only did Columbia pay me hourly and for my ticket in the 6th row, I also got to sit next to Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner throughout the show, which was amazing. There, I found my passion and love for student affairs and working with students. So I began looking for graduate programs to continue my education after Pace University. And it brings me so much joy to actually tell you that after graduation, I will be at Ohio University studying college student personnel, and I will be working alongside their housing and residential life department as a graduate resident director. And I will be going there debt-free because I have received a full tuition waiver scholarship. So none of this would have been possible without all of the opportunities that I've gotten at Pace, which is amazing. One piece of advice that I leave you all is to get involved on campus, join clubs, join organizations, because you never know where they will lead to. And I hope that you all have a great Pace path and enjoy the rest of Pacebound. Next, I'm going to reintroduce Nicole Salabini, who you met earlier today.
Thank you so much, Sharina and Veronica. You guys are amazing. And to the audience out there, these are two of our amazing students who really represent what the whole Pace community is like. 3 internships, energy, all about community. So thank you so much for joining us today and telling us a little bit about your stories. They're both tour guides, so I have them close to my heart as I work with the tour guides on campus, and they really do showcase what the campus is about. So it's my pleasure now to actually have the honor to moderate a panel of more dynamic students on campus. I have 6 students on my panel today representing the 5 colleges: Dyson College of Arts and Sciences, the Lubin School of Business, the School of Education, Seidenberg School of Computer Science and Information Systems, the College of Health Professions, and I also have a student from the School of Performing Arts, which I know you all want to hear about. So without further ado, let's get started. We're going to start with May, but all of my students on the panel representing these 6 colleges are going to tell us why you chose Pace. So May, will you start us off?
Hi everybody, my name is May. I am originally from Dover, Delaware. I am a junior. I'm a combined degree student majoring in English and publishing with minors in creative writing and women and gender studies, and I'll be graduating in December 2021.
Hi guys, my name is Sarah. I'm a junior arts and entertainment management major from Pace University. I'll be graduating in May 2021.
Hi everyone, I am Tori. I am from Northfield, New Jersey, which is in South Jersey. I am a junior stage management major, and I will be graduating in December of 2020.
My name is Michael. I'm a senior here at Pace. I am in the School of Education studying childhood education with an English concentration, and I'll be graduating in the spring of 2020. Oh, and I'm from Hanover, PA.
Hi everyone, my name is Raven Vaughn. I'm from Silver Spring, Maryland. I'm a junior in the College of Health Professions as a health science major with a concentration in global health and health policy and advocacy, and I'm set to graduate in the spring of 2021.
Hi everyone, my name is Grace. I am originally from South Jersey. I'm a senior computer science student, so I will be graduating this May, spring of 2020, which is crazy but so exciting.
Thank you so much. Can you start again down the line and tell us all why you chose Pace? May?
Sure, hi again. So the main reason why I chose Pace was for the amazing location. There's nothing else like it. You're in New York City, the heart of downtown. You have every other location, subway line available to you. And with a passion for book publishing, which is an industry mainly in New York City, I knew I wanted to be there. And then when I got to Pace, I realized how many opportunities they have to actually get you into those companies for internships and other stuff like that.
Yeah, so the reason I chose PACE was definitely because of the uniqueness of my major, arts and entertainment management. The curriculum offers the business side of film and television, theater, and music industries that a regular business management degree does not offer. And so with that also comes the great opportunities, like May said, for internships and jobs within New York City, seeing as it is one of the largest entertainment hubs in the world.
Awesome. The reason I chose PACE was, along with everyone else, definitely the location. Being a stage management major in the School of Performing Arts, where else better to be than New York City to study the performing arts. But along with that, one of the biggest reasons I chose PACE was the community. Being on campus, I know my open house that I went to, it was the one university that I felt the most community. Everyone was very welcoming, and everyone still is. I love being here. I love being involved. I love being a tour guide. And I would say that's the reason I'm a tour guide as well, is because I want to spread that community as well.
So the reason I chose PACE was definitely because of the location as well. Being an education major, I wanted to be able to teach in places where I can get a lot of different experiences. And through PACE, I've been actually able to teach in 3 of the boroughs of New York City, which is an opportunity that I definitely would not have had had I not gone to PACE. So yeah, that's for me.
So I personally chose PACE for its health science major / program. It's one of the only schools in the city, or one of the few schools in New York City, to offer a health science major, where you can get important science prerequisites like chemistry and biology, while also integrating healthcare courses like healthcare ethics, epidemiology, which is so important right now, and healthcare for diverse populations. And so I really like that diverse combination that the major offers, and it's very rigorous.
Yeah, I mean, similar to a lot of other tour guides, I chose PACE because of the location. I knew I wanted to be in New York City. I obviously have a passion for technology with my computer science major, and I really wanted to also explore all the great and rich arts that the city had to offer. When I came to PACE's open house, I got the opportunity to speak to some current students and some professors, some faculty members. I think that's what really sold it for me. They were really interested in what I was interested in, and how PACE's programming, how their classes, how their events could really help me be successful in the future. So I really felt that sense of community without having been accepted yet. I felt like I was part of the PACE community.
That's awesome. Thank you all so much. My first question is actually for Grace, since you're on the hot seat. Grace, can you talk to us a little bit about your PACE path? Has it been since day one? Has it changed throughout the years? Talk to the audience about what that experience has been like.
Totally. So I think, my PACE path definitely changed throughout the years in a really great and exciting way. And I think a lot of people have a similar experience in that way. So I came in freshman computer science major. I stayed with that the whole time. I didn't know a ton about, what computer science would entail coming into it. So I was really just fresh, open page, ready to learn everything that there was to learn. And so I ended up loving it. I love coding. I love math. So that's been really exciting. But my freshman year, I actually got the opportunity to take a civic engagement course. And so the course that I chose, I was able to teach 3 elderly students how to best use their cell phone, their laptop, their iPads, and how to keep in touch with their loved ones over social media. So that was a really rewarding experience. And that's what really got me into the human interaction, the user side of technology. I have a passion for helping people and for figuring out the ways technology can help others and mobilize others to do good. So when I was a sophomore, I became the vice president of community service for Kappa Delta sorority, because again, I have that nonprofit heart. So my favorite thing that we did with them was work with the Girl Scouts. So I got to work with girls who were really interested in STEM and help and empower them and tell them how amazing they are and what amazing things that they could do. And I think that really did, again, serve to kind of light that fire in terms of how technology can help people and just helping people in general. So fast forwarding a tiny bit, my senior year, this entire senior year, I've been interning with DoSomething.org, which is actually the same place that Veronica interns. So for them, I've been their UX research intern, so user experience. So I've been researching the user experience for the young people that do something, we work on mobilizing young people to get involved in their community and making a difference in their community, which is amazing. So I've really been able to throughout the years, just combine my computer science background, that technology background, and my passion for helping people into where I am now. and I'm actually starting up a job with DoSomething.org in May. So really exciting, kind of the end of my PACE path, but you'll hear from tour guides who are at different places in it.
Yes, thank you so much. I actually want Raven to tell us a little bit about her PACE path. I know she started as a transfer student and her experiences at PACE have been pretty interesting. So Raven, could you talk to us a little bit about what your time at PACE has looked like and things you've done in the medical field and outside of the classroom?
Of course. So I transferred in from a school in a rural area, and I was a biology major there. It wasn't necessarily for me. It was a great school. Biology is a great major, but it just wasn't for me. I wasn't really excited to learn, if that makes sense. And so I was really passionate to learn more about the medical field, but you also need like the science prerequisites to get into a graduate program. And so PACE really stood out to me because they have the health science program, and also because it's in New York City, so you get ample opportunity to like volunteer in places and work in hospitals and healthcare centers and so much more. So I started off at PACE as a sophomore, and I'm currently a junior now, and it really has opened so many doors for me. I used to be very scared of the sciences, a very shy person, and now I feel like I've changed so much. I'm very outgoing. I push myself to do more and to take on more tasks. Right now, I'm currently serving in the Student Government Association as the vice president of the College of Health Professions, and we basically advocate for students within the college. We try to better their overall experience, and we hold events. We were planning a really fun event for this semester, but unfortunately, we switched to remote learning, so we're still trying to figure out how we could do that virtually. And I also right now, I'm currently serving as a medical scribe at Mount Sinai, Queens. We're doing it virtually now due to the pandemic, but we're still helping the doctors, since they're really overwhelmed right now. I'm documenting the patient's, visit to the ED and so on and so forth. And so, yeah, it's just been I think, a great experience overall. I feel like I'm a completely different person than when I came to PACE. I'm more outgoing. I'm ready to take on new tasks and push myself forward. So yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that story with us. So for the audience, PACE University's DNA is in internships and career services. And so we really want you to understand that we have life outside of the classroom. And my next two students are going to help you learn more about that. So Tori and May, if you could talk to us a little bit about career services and how that process has helped you to get where you are.
Totally. Hey everyone. So just to give you a little bit of background on my internship journey, I actually started my internship journey this past summer. I started interning at the Pennsylvania Shakespeare Festival as a production management intern. I ended up leaving that internship halfway through the summer to come back to the city because I got hired at the National Yiddish Theater, which is down in Battery Park, right near our campus, as an assistant stage manager. That job gave me points towards the union that I would be in as a professional, so that was super awesome. Along with that, this fall, I interned at The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon as a general production intern and a costumes intern. Along with that, I eventually, after that semester, this past semester, so the one we're currently in now, I got hired as a production assistant in the props department and the art department at The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. So I already have a job as a junior in college, which is super awesome. And this semester, I also interned at The Rachel Ray Show. So I was holding an internship, a full-time job, working at the Welcome Center, and being a full-time student at the same time. But again, all of that is thanks to career services. I visited career services actually after the summer, after I got my internship at The Tonight Show, because I felt I needed a little more help with my resume. My resume was good enough to get me in the door, but I wanted a resume that would put my resume over the top. So I went there and I got paired with a counselor that was a professional in the arts and was able to help me focus my resume towards what I wanted to do. So we sat down, we had a meeting, and we went through everything on my resume. I went back for another meeting about 2 weeks later after fixing it all, and we went through it again, and then I ended up doing a mock interview, which was super helpful going into my Rachel Ray interview. I have never felt more prepared for an interview. It was just getting that practice beforehand with a counselor who knows what I was going into was a super helpful thing, and it made me feel just personally more prepared. So personally, I love career services. I think they make a student feel more prepared for what they're going into, whether that's just career-wise or that's interview-wise. So I had a very good experience with career services.
Yeah, same here. I was a very eager freshman, so career services was pretty much the first place that I went to. They helped me with my resume. First and foremost, you go to a resume workshop where you meet with someone in a group, and they basically walk you through it hand in hand, trying to get you that resume perfected. And then you go to another meeting with a one-on-one meeting with a counselor where they talk to you personally about your specific field, like Tori said, and get you real prepared for interviews or group interviews, anything like that. So that was my freshman year experience. I wanted to get my foot on the ground and get my resume perfected. And then my sophomore year, I was ready to start interning. And I actually got my first internship through a tour. I was talking about my passion for book publishing and how much I wanted to intern somewhere. And someone on the tour happened to know the vice president of an imprint at Penguin Random House, which is a book publisher. So I worked that semester for Ballantine Bantam Dell, which published Game of Thrones or Outlander, a lot of books like that. It was a great experience. And after that experience, I managed to have an internship every semester afterwards. So I'm on my 4th internship currently. I've worked for W.W. Norton Publishing, 2 literary agencies who do film rights, TV rights, books, cookbooks, you name it. And I'm mostly interested in editorial work. So I definitely have career services to thank for giving me the confidence to get that first internship and then the ones following after that.
4 internships. Wow, that's incredible. So we've talked a little bit about classrooms, internships, but we also like to have some fun on campus, right? And I know that Michael is always smiling. He's always dancing every time I pass him at the Welcome Center. So Michael, could you talk to us a little bit about life outside the classroom? What's your favorite event so far at PACE?
Yeah, for sure. So one of my favorite things that PACE does for like getting people involved going off campus is our Weeks of Welcome event, which is really cool. It's during the first month of every semester. So they have events every day to get students, specifically freshmen, but upperclassmen like me get involved as well, to get them to come out, leave their room, make some friends, get involved. My favorite thing to do was they would always have tickets to Broadway shows, either like severely discounted or free. I actually saw Wicked 3 times for free through PACE, so they're fueling my Broadway addiction. But that's probably my biggest thing. That's my favorite thing to do. Being in the city, I'm a big theater buff. I spend way too much money going to see the shows personally, but hey, yeah, that's my big thing for getting involved off campus.
Okay. Grace, you want to take that too?
Absolutely. So life kind of outside of the classroom at PACE, I mean, you're in New York City, there's so many things to do. Like Michael just said, Broadway shows. I've also gotten my fair share of discounted Broadway tickets. Shout out to PACE, love that. My favorite events, I think, just like throughout my time at PACE, have been the free food events. All right, so there is no shortage of free food events at PACE, and that is just so fun. We have tons of events that are obviously set up, you know, to prepare you academically and professionally. But when we have these like fun events like Spring Fest, Fall Fest, it's so nice to just come together with your, you know, your fellow classmates, maybe meet some people you haven't met before if you're an upperclassman, enjoy some free food, make those like, you know, fun memories, kind of reward yourself for all the hard work that you're doing. As you've heard, PACE students really do like to put in the work, but we also do like to have fun together and enjoy those times as well.
Thank you for that. So I know there's a couple of you that are actually also members of the Honors College, and I've seen some questions come through the chat about honors. So Sarah and May, can you talk to us a little bit about the experience in the Honors College to the audience, please?
Yeah, so I'll start this one off. My experience with the Honors College actually started the first day I was on campus. I lived on the honors floor, which was the 10th floor of Maria's Tower during my freshman year. There I was able to connect with students who have similar passions and work ethic as me and make friends that I'll actually have forever. And I'm even, my roommate right now was actually living in Maria's Tower, floor 10 Honors College too. So I found that the students that lived with me were also in the majority of my classes because Honors is this great thing where they offer the opportunity to take courses that are just specific for Honors students. So it's great to be able to build this Honors community within the larger community of PACE University.
Yeah, I had a little bit of a different experience actually. I wasn't in honors when I was a freshman, but I decided to transfer in as a sophomore, so you can do that. As long as your GPA is at the requirement, you submit a little essay and they transfer you in, and it's really great because you get the opportunity to be a part of that community, as Sarah was talking about. And I've definitely experienced that for myself. I'm currently an honors RA, so I've had honor students for the past few months now, and it's been a great community just to see them build it for themselves, even though I might not have had that my freshman year. Everyone's so motivated, and they're also really passionate to talk about what they've done. So if you talk to any honor student about what they've done, they're so excited to share it with you. And like Sharina, I'm also completing my honors thesis right now, which has been a really profitable experience. I'm writing a 25-page paper about diversity in children's literature. So that's been a really great project to work on, especially now that I'm starting to look for full-time jobs. I can talk about that in my interviews.
Terrific. Michael, so can you talk to us a little bit about what life is like in the School of Education?
Yes. Yeah, so life in the School of Ed, it's definitely about getting you in the field as soon as possible. So I actually transferred here my sophomore year. So I came here during the second year, and my first semester here, I was actually placed in a classroom. I was actually in a pre-K, only a few blocks away from my residence hall, 33 Beekman. I went there once a week. I was definitely a big fan of that because I got to go out in the field as soon as possible and get not only a lot of experience, but also test the waters and see what grades that I want to work in the future. So throughout my time, every semester I've been here, I have been in a classroom either for 1 day a week or 2 days a week, varying from pre-K to 5th grade. Currently, in my last semester, I am student teaching, which is full-time, 5 days a week. I'm in a 1st grade classroom. We've also moved to Zoom conferences as well, so it's fun watching a bunch of 6-year-olds on this thing. So yeah.
I have a 6-year-old, so I can only imagine what that's like. Tori, my friend Tori, can you talk to us about a day in the life of a student in the School of Performing Arts? Because I'm sure a lot of people in the audience are wondering about that.
Yeah, I totally can. So just to start off with the performing arts across all of the 8 majors, we like to say that the school is ran conservatory style, but with a university backing. So when you are a performing arts major, you're taking just as much performing arts classes as you would at like a conservatory school. But along with that, you're also taking a full course load of your regular classes, meaning I'm still taking all of my areas of knowledge. So I'm still taking history courses, math courses, science courses. And after those courses, I'm going to take a stage management course. So I'm back and forth between the performing arts building, and that's how most performing arts students are. We're back and forth between One Pace Plaza and also the performing arts building, which are only about 2 blocks away. So it's a really short walk. I actually enjoy the quick fresh air between walks. But along with that, all of our professors within the performing arts are actually working professionals. For example, the head of my program, Christopher Zaccardi, is a Broadway stage manager. His latest Broadway show that he stage managed being Hello Dolly, which when I was interviewing to be in the school, he was actually working full-time at Hello Dolly at night, so I had to interview really early in the morning because they were about to go into previews, which I thought was like super awesome. It wowed me right away. But along with that, that means they are great connections to get into the industry. Chris actually had a lot of friends that were connected within NBC. So when I was applying for The Tonight Show, he sent in a lot of recommendations to people he knew. I'm not sure if they went through or not, but he was very helpful on that end. He's known a lot of the people I've worked with outside. And has recommended me to them. But along with that, personally for my major in performing arts, I have to do a practicum every single semester. So that means I have to be on a stage management team for one of the main stage shows we do at school. So I started off as a production assistant my freshman year, and I worked my way up to being a production stage manager this past semester. Our show was canceled. We were doing Head Over Heels, which I was super excited about. But I'll be a production stage managing another show in the fall to make up for it. So my day and most performing arts majors days are full from 9 a.m. all the way to 11 p.m. most of the time. But that's how it is in the real world with performing arts. So I personally think that PACE Performing Arts gives students a great look into what life would be like after your 4 years here at PACE. Also, one more thing that I like to mention about the performing arts is they actually encourage their students to work outside while they are still in the university. So I know for myself, I've been working professionally in union houses and at major TV companies. So I feel very prepared going, graduating in December. I'm actually graduating a semester early, and I already have a full-time job at The Tonight Show. So I'm feeling super prepared. And I know that's how a lot of our performing arts students feel, especially with hearing Sharina, who's already been on Broadway. But you'll find lots of performing arts students like that. But yeah.
Well, congratulations on your job. That's amazing. Congratulations. That is so cool. Okay, my next question, I have a few more before we go on to the next part of this day. Sarah, can you talk to us a little bit about your study abroad experience?
Yeah, I love talking about this. And like some of my friends get annoyed because I can't stop talking about my experience. So last semester, I had the opportunity to study management at Florence University of Arts in Florence, Italy. I was able to build a relationship with students around the world, as well as making students that were actually all studying with me in Florence. So I was able to take courses with international management, food and mind culture, which was something a little bit different I got to. And that here being up is such a bold as so as I was able to come back to PACE, I got a new experience on my belt. I feel like I definitely am more confident.
Thank you so much. For those of you who may have not heard all of that because there's some technical issues, Sarah was studying in Florence, Italy last semester. So Sarah is one of our tour guides. Feel free to reach out to her. She'll tell you all about her study abroad experience as well. Okay, so one more question for Grace. Can you talk to us a little bit about Greek life on campus?
Absolutely. Greek life on campus, as I mentioned before, I'm a sister of Kappa Delta sorority. So Greek life on a city campus looks a little bit different from Greek life on a more traditional campus, but it's still incredibly rich and meaningful experience. It has given me so much in my 4 years, almost 4 years at Pace University. Really, for me, my experience in Kappa Delta has been about friendship, leadership, and empowerment. You know, we don't have a huge Greek life. You know, we don't have tons and tons of organizations, but the ones we do have are strong, they're involved, and they're mission driven. And so things that we've done, you know, we don't have a house, but we've had really great sisterhood picnics in Central Park. We've volunteered with local and national philanthropies. We've had networking events with successful alumni who live in the city. So we've had tons of opportunities in Greek life. So that's speaking from my experience, and I'm sure other members of Greek life have shared in that experience, and kind of using the city to their advantage in terms of, you know, what are the opportunities out there? For me, I've discovered a group of women who empower me to go out and get those internships, who will work with me on that resume, who will stay up late with me working on that internship application. Or, you know, I can send them my honors thesis survey and they're going to take it, they're going to help propel me forward. But I think that people in Greek life in general have shared that experience. And I always say, and you've heard it before, you'll hear it again, Pace University is a really tight-knit, you know, community-focused university. And so whenever you join those organizations, those clubs that mean a lot to you within Pace, it's going to help those bonds with you and your fellow students get even tighter. And that's what Greek life has really done for me.
Great answer. My last question for just one person is for Grace. I'm not for Grace, I'm sorry. It's for Raven. You can answer too if you want. But Raven, can you talk to the audience about support on campus and what kind of services we have for support as, you know, students are transitioning from high school to college? That's something that everyone really wants to know about.
So there's a lot of support systems on campus. Even a lot of my professors, they have them in the syllabus just in case you need like mental health support. There's also support for sexual abuse and assault. Juliet, she's the coordinator for that. She's amazing. She also holds a lot of seminars pertaining to like what a healthy relationship looks like and so on and so forth. Their campus security is amazing. Everyone's so nice. If you have any problems, you can always talk to them. And if you need help, there's also a Pace Security app. If you need to be, like if you need help walking back from school to your dorm hall, they'll assist you and walk with you there. And so I never really feel unsafe on campus. We're in a very nice area. There's a lot of support systems. Even my professors are great outlets if I need to talk to them about anything. And so yeah, there's a lot in summary. So yeah.
Well, since I started with Grace, going back to Grace. Grace, can you talk to to us about some of the other services on campus, tutoring center, etc.?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, when I was coming to New York City, I think, maybe not just for me, for others as well, maybe moving to New York is like a little bit like, it's a new environment. It can be a big change. And so I was thinking, like, if I'm going to move to New York, I think like moving to New York in college in a university like Pace, you're going into this new experience with such a wide support system, right? So it makes it so much less, scary if you're a little bit spooked. It makes you feel like a lot more empowered. But yes, we do have our learning center. We have our writing center to support you academically. Your advisors do that as well. First year students take their UNV 101 course. They have their advisors in that as well. They have a wide network of student support as well. So they have their peer leaders that frequently sit in on their UNV 101 courses. They have their resident assistants. I'm also a resident assistant. I know May talked about it, Sharina. I have had the privilege of supporting students. Pace, Office of Housing and Residential Life, they have the privilege of supporting students. We also have, on a physical and mental well-being level, we do have security, just like Raven said. We have our counseling center, we have our health services to make sure that all aspects of your Pace University life, your college life, you're supported. And I think that's just made the transition in not only adulthood, but living in the city and thinking about, where I'm going to go in my future so much easier. Know that I have, those support systems to really lean back on if I'm struggling with anything. I can ask my advisors. I know I feel safe, and I can ask my fellow students as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're almost out of time with this section of our day. So this question is for everyone. Might as well start with you, Grace, since you're here. So my question for you is, if you could offer advice to our audience, accepted students and their parents, what would it be?
What a good one. I would say, as somebody who was really stressed, thinking about what I was going to major in and where I was going to go to college and what I wanted to do for my life, I think the advice that I would give you right now is to take a breath, explore, what you want, who you are, take the time to look at Pace University, see how you can fit in here. I know we're having sort of an alternative event, but do that the best that you can. And when, I hope that you pick Pace, I hope that you join and you are a Pace setter, but whatever you do in your college, experience, make the most of it. Never doubt yourself, go out and, take those opportunities, because that's really what's going to propel you forward. And I think that is something that I've done at Pace, and that's 100% just totally made my college experience the best.
Thank you, and I hope they choose Pace too. May, you're next.
Oh boy, no pressure. I would just say, I think universities in general, it's a big intimidating thing to come into, and I totally remember how I was and what I felt when I came into it. So I think don't be afraid to ask questions, and if someone gives you an answer that you're not so sure about, ask somebody else or ask again, because you deserve the right answer. So use those resources and stand up for yourself for whatever you want.
Sarah?
Yeah, so I'm sorry about my volume. But anyway, my advice for students, definitely for incoming students, would be, once you get on campus, definitely take a look around the financial district, since that'll be the home for your next 4 years. Making those memories of exploring downtown area, whether you're walking the Brooklyn Bridge or hanging out at the Seaport, is definitely a must. As a junior, I can now confidently say that if someone stops me on the street and asks me how to get to the entrance of the Brooklyn Bridge, I won't point them in the wrong direction, which I have done in the past. So hopefully you'll be able to get to know the financial district and the area around you.
Excellent. Tori?
Yeah, My biggest piece of advice is don't let your research stop here. Keep researching all your options with universities. Keep researching PACE. I know I have wanted to go to PACE since my freshman year of high school. Didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to go there. So just continuing to research it, asking questions to advisors, asking questions to current students, asking questions to students that got accepted there in the same position as you. Just keep gathering your information, because there's nothing better than going to a university and knowing you made 100% the right choice, which is exactly how I felt. So continue the research after PACE-bound.
Excellent. Michael?
All right. So my biggest piece of advice is being open to new experiences and letting those experiences change you. As cheesy as that sounds, college is all about growing as a person as well as learning. But I can confidently say every single person on this panel is not the same person that they were when they started college, always for the better, of course. But those experiences that you're getting through college really will shape you for the future. So it's always about being open to those experiences. If I wasn't open, I probably wouldn't have transferred to PACE, which would have been my biggest regret. It's not my biggest regret. It's my favorite thing. But yeah, always be open to those.
And Raven?
Just to go off of that, being open and giving it time. A lot of people told me, oh, do you really want to go to New York City for school? It's not really a traditional campus. And all good things in life are things that push you out of your comfort zone. You won't grow anywhere if you're just comfortable all the time. You have to be uncomfortable. And when you come to PACE or any school in the city, just give it time. You'll find your niche, you'll find your friends, you'll find your home basically, and where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be doing. So that's my biggest piece of advice.
Well, that all is great advice. And thank you for your time today, for being an amazing panel for me to moderate. It was my sincere pleasure to have the opportunity to actually get to talk to you today. I know so many of you from being on campus, but this really lets me share you guys with the audience. And I'm confident that after today, they'll want to come to PACE. So the next part of our program today is going to be our virtual campus tour. Some of the panelists are tour guides at PACE, so maybe you'll want to be a tour guide too when you come to PACE in the fall. But we're really excited to showcase to you our campus and our surrounding neighborhood so that you get a feel for what it's like to be a PACE student on the campus. So without further ado, I introduce you to Brooke, Jeremiah, Dory, and Angel as they walk you through our PACE campus and our neighborhood and tell you what it's like to be a PACE student. And then I'll come back at the end and we'll wrap it up.
Thank you so much, Nicole. Hi, everyone. I am so excited to be your tour guide today, and I can't wait to show you around our campus. I know we're not there in person, but we're here virtually. We're doing it. Thank you again for joining us. So we're going to have a great experience. I just want to introduce myself to you. So my name is Brooke. I'm going to be one of your tour guides today. I'm a junior here at PACE, living in the New York City area. I am a double major studying English and Communication Studies with a minor in journalism. I am also part of a 5-year master program with publishing. So what that means is I'll graduate in 5 years with both my master's and my bachelor's. So I could save myself a year of time and money, which is always great. In addition to being a tour guide, I'm very involved on campus. I am a part of the PACE Press, which is our school newspaper. This year, I am on their e-board serving as their treasurer. Last year, I served as their arts and entertainment section editor. It has been such a rewarding experience, a part of my PACE path. On top of that, I am a peer leader. So that means I work in a freshman classroom called University 101. And basically that's a class that all freshmen, like you, maybe one day in the fall, will get to take, and they work with an advisor and a peer leader like me, and I just help them adjust to university life, and I get to know them better, and it's a really good time. On top of that, I am a part of Kappa Delta sorority, and then off campus, I've had numerous internships with 3 different companies: Penguin Random House, WW Norton, and Viacom CBS. And then last but not least, as long as we're all back in person this summer, which I sincerely hope we are, I will be interning with Nickelodeon. So I really hope that I still get to have that experience. And that's enough about me for now. I will pass the mic over to tour guide Jeremiah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pacebound Online. I hope everyone's having a great day. My name is Jeremiah Williams. I'm originally from New Orleans, Louisiana. I was born there, but I grew up for the most part actually in Houston, Texas. And fun fact about me, the first time I came to New York City was for my orientation to Pace University. So I was already fully committed due to online services that Pace was doing to display the school. So I'm really happy to be a part of this online virtual experience for you guys. I'm graduating in the year of 2023 as a freshman. So yes, it's only my second semester here at Pace, and we're living in quite crazy times, but I'm enjoying it. On campus, I'm a member of the Residence Hall Association, which just interacts with students who live on campus, making a community based around events that help us all connect and have a lot of fun. I'm also now an e-board member of the Political Science Society. I'm a double major in political science and journalism on campus. And so being a part of the Political Science Society has really elevated my political science interest and really sparked a lot of discussions with students with a lot of different ideas, which I find really valuable coming all the way from Texas. On top of that, even though I'm only a freshman in my second semester, I've already had 3 jobs since I've been here in New York City, currently working one of them as a student tour guide and as a Pacebound Online ambassador. So after this, if you're on Pacebound Online and you see my little circle icon and you have any questions, yes, that's me. You can definitely ask me questions there and I will be happy to answer them. But that's enough about me. I'm going to hand it over to Dory.
Hey everyone, my name is Dory. I'm originally from Norcross, Georgia. I'm a sophomore in BA acting major in the International Performance Ensemble. On campus, other than being a tour guide, I'm a part of the Honors College. And just like May, I wasn't an honors student coming in as a freshman, but I transferred in summer going into my sophomore year. Last year, I was a resident in the 55 John Street Residential Hall, where I was also on hall council. So those town halls you see on shows like Parks and Rec, that's kind of what I did for our residential halls, got feedback from the residents and tried to make positive changes in the residential halls from there. Now I'm a commuter student. I live about 3 blocks away from One Pace Plaza, which is the main building for our campus, but I'm still technically a commuter student. Last semester, I was a part of a Pace main stage production. It was called Postmortem, and it was a completely original piece. So when we went into the rehearsal room, we didn't have a script, just my castmates and our director, and we made a show from the ground up about a funeral home that did a bunch of illegal things. And it premiered around Halloween, so it was very fitting for the time. And finally, hopefully, if everything works out, next semester I'll be studying abroad to Barcelona, Spain, and if not, that's okay. But if that does happen, I'll be studying with students from all over the world at the Barcelona Institute of the Arts, which I'm very excited for. And now, last but not least, tour guide Angel is going to introduce herself.
Thanks, Dory. Hi, everyone. Good morning. I'm Angel. I'm a junior here at Pace University. I'm a childhood education major with a concentration in English. I'm from California, so the time difference is currently 8 a.m. right now. Good morning. I am planning to take my 5-year here at Pace University with a master's in special education. I currently work in a school right now with 5th graders. I was working in Brooklyn last semester. So as Michael said, as an education major, you're constantly in the classroom doing the hands-on experience with students. And not only am I a tour guide on campus, I'm also a Pacebound ambassador, just like Jeremiah. So you can link up with me on Pacebound, say hi, ask questions. I send some amazing pictures about tour guide life, about Pace University, and some cool little stuff about education classes itself. Along with that, I work in a boxing gym at the New York City campus. It's right across the street from One Pace Plaza. It's an amazing opportunity to do that and get fitness in order. I also used to intern at KPA Talent Agency. With that being said, I would love to infuse my love for the arts and my major, which is education, and open up my own theater company one day for children who are on the spectrum of autism and Down syndrome. But that is enough about me. I will now be handing it back on over to Brooke to talk about the virtual stops and to get this tour started.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Angel. Okay, great. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So to begin, this is a list of some of the stops you're going to see today on your virtual tour. So feel free to ask questions as we go, or you could save them for the end, but we are so excited to take you around our campus today. So to begin, we're going to start in One Pace Plaza. So just pretend you're in the financial district and you're walking on into our main entrance in One Pace Plaza. All right, perfect. So as we've been mentioning throughout the day today, We're so lucky because our campus recently underwent a huge renovation. We've called it our PACE Master Plan, and it looks beautiful. So what that entails is some incredible new spaces for students to work on a group project, to collaborate, to have a spot to sit down and eat and have a meal, really anything. So we have new conference rooms available, new student centers available, study areas. We have our Spirit store completely new and renovated and beautiful. So these are some photos here of what I'm talking about. We have a tabling hub. It is in that second photo there. It's kind of like that black strip of table there, where students and organizations and clubs can sit down and advertise about their organization. So all of that is available to students at all times. Like I said, we have conference rooms that students and clubs can utilize for their meetings. And then last but not least, just to touch on security. So security has a huge presence on the PACE campus. We have security guards at all entrances and exits of our various buildings, including our residence halls. So just to go off a little bit more regarding security in our residence halls, just because you're a PACE student doesn't mean you have access to every single residence hall. You have access to the one you live in. So you would just scan into the building with your PACE ID card. We call it your PACE One card. As you'll come to learn, it's the one card you use for literally everything. So you don't have to worry about handling multiple cards or keys at once. So you'll always have access to your room, 24/7 security there, and then into the entrance and exits at One PACE Plaza, which is our main building that we're looking at right now, which does hold about 90% of your classes. You will have access into that building at all times as well. So that's just a little bit about security, and we're going to see some photos now of more in depth of the different student spaces. So that's more an in-depth photo about the tabling hub I was mentioning before, where students can gather. And behind it is the student center with the glass windows overlooking the city. We're going to view some more photos here in a second. So this is actually a student space lounge in our 41 Park Row building, right across the street from One PACE Plaza, but I'll hold off on that because you're going to hear a little bit more about it later in the tour. And then last but not least, this is another photo of one of our student spaces that is the go-to spot for doing homework. Those chairs are like soundproof, and as the tour guides now, I see them shaking their heads, that is the place to be to do your homework. Get there, get your chair, hang out like the whole day. So now I'm going to pass the mic over to tour guide Angel, and she's going to tell you a little bit more about classroom life.
Awesome. Thanks, Brooke. So yes, welcome to our classroom stop. The very first picture you're looking at is an active learning classroom. It's an example of integrating technology within our classes to make things more modern for students. Those chairs are mobile. The whiteboard space is actually the wall, so anything below the blue tape is whiteboard space. You see 3 monitors in the classroom. We have 5 in total. We do have microphones that hang from the ceiling. It's a part of a system called Echo 360. It's a web conferencing type of environment, works with Blackboard Collaborate, again, just integrating technology into our classes. The bottom picture you see right there is a lecture hall classroom. It seats about 125 students. You'll have about 1 to 2 lecture hall classes during your duration at PACE, and your class size will get smaller and smaller and smaller as you continue through your major. An average class size about 18 to 22 students, again, just focusing on that very small class size. And speaking on that, with our professors, 90% of them have the highest terminal degree in their field of study. We have percentages that are also adjuncts, so they go into their fields and come back and help us focus on whatever they're focusing on in their field, giving us PACE students a leg up on what's currently happening in the field that we are focusing on. Professors are always accessible. They have to have office hours, so it's amazing just to communicate with them, have that open dialogue regarding if you missed a quiz, if you're struggling with content, if you need help with a midterm or project, they will always be there for you. As I previously mentioned, as you go through your curriculum, class size gets smaller and smaller. I have a class size of 7 students right now as a PACE University education student. With that being said, I have my major requirements, but I also have these things called areas of knowledge. It's a PACE University requirement. It allows you to be very well-rounded as a student, but also as an individual. I personally took a critical criminology course and a performing poetry course. So although my major is education, I get to speak about the social justice reforms of education, and I could perform a poem for my students, which is like really cool little thing to snippet and do with students. Regarding study abroad, we do offer study abroad opportunities. We offer semester-long study abroads. We also offer partnerships programs with study abroad. I personally was supposed to go to Rome this summer. However, that was postponed. That was a partnership with John Cabot University in Rome. We have intersession study abroads. My roommate did an intersession study abroad where she learned about Greece her spring semester and then went to Greece during summer for 2 weeks just to take what she learned in the classroom, to take it to the destination, learn hands-on experience with that. If any of you guys are Disney fans, we have a cruise ship type of study abroad. It's called Semester at Sea. I mentioned Disney because it's similar to Sweet Life on Deck. So if you like Zack and Cody like I do, the Spouse Brothers, you are able to go on a cruise ship, study your material there, and then take it to the destination at hand. So now I will be moving along to our next stop, which is our Lubin School of Business. It is the 4th floor at our One Pace Plaza. The 2 pictures you see right there are mock-ups of renovations that are currently underway of student common areas, again, just promoting productivity and collaboration with our students. Our Lubin faculty offices are on the 4th floor. So as I previously mentioned with professors having office hours, the 4th floor will have their offices right there, easily accessible for students to maintain and go talk to their professors. We have career-focused clubs such as our PACE Marketing Association, PACE Professionals, and Women in Corporate America, just to name a few. I will get into cultural clubs later, but those are career-focused clubs. Here at the 4th floor, we also have our GPAC room, our Global Portfolio Analysis Center. There you can get your Bloomberg certification for free. It's a stimulation to buy and trade stocks. Any university student can get it. It's for free. Again, personally, as an education major, I am looking into it. Odd, I know, but it looks good on a resume, and it's a conversation starter. Amazing. So within the GPAC room, again, we have the stock market tickers. They're relatively up to date. It's amazing for students who are 1, getting their Bloomberg certification, or 2, just doing coursework within that room, as again, it helps with them being relatively up to date for whatever coursework you are working on at the time. So I'll be moving on to our next stop, which is our science stop, and I'll be giving the mic on over to Jeremiah. Oh, just kidding. Before we start that, I actually want to point out our study spaces with Lubin. It's right below the Student Center. So again, just reiterating the community feel and giving students a collaboration productivity space. Anyone can use these spaces again, but now I will actually be giving over just to Jeremiah for science.
Thanks, Angel. Yes, that's a very important space on campus. Just going 1 floor down from the Lubin School of Business, right down those stairs, is our Alfred R. Goldstein Laboratories, or Science Department here at Pace University on the 3rd floor. Now, the 3rd floor of the West Wing is home to those laboratories, and they have just finished a multi-year renovation project, so they look really new. I know we're doing a virtual tour right now, and you're seeing a lot of the images on the left of the spaces we're describing, and yes, they look that good. I've walked into these laboratories myself, and they look like a completely different portion of the building because they're just so different, and that's how most of the spaces at Pace are. They all look a little different, resembling the schools that they're a part of, and they look really nice and new. So I just wanted to point that out because I know some of us look at the images and just imagine us there and wonder if it looks the same, and it really does. In the front of those laboratories, we have 4 biology labs, which have just finished their multi-year renovation projects, as well as 6 chemistry labs towards the back of the wing, and they have also finished their renovation projects, filled with new equipment, and they look very nice. There's also 2 student spaces, which are meant for students to gather and negotiate different opportunities within the laboratories, work on assignments, and meet with professors in those areas. Artwork and awards and research are all displayed on the walls in this portion of the Pace University campus, and they're all done by students. So when you look around the walls on these parts of the school, you'll actually see a lot of student work completed here, and you'll get to revel in how smart these students are because it's very impressive stuff. But not only that, moving from there, we've also recognizing that this combines the classroom and experimental part of learning. A lot of our professors actually work with students on big projects in this department, so it's a very important part of campus. But moving from science and right on into the cafeteria, actually one of the more exciting stops on campus that everyone wants to talk about because everyone loves food. So let's talk about food. But before we talk about the actual food we're going to be eating, I think it's important to talk about how we pay for it. So Pace University's meal plan is done through a declining debit card system. So that trusty ID that Brooke was talking about earlier truly does get used for everything. You need your Pace ID to just be swiped after you purchase items in the cafeteria, say an apple and a water, and that's exactly what you'll be charged for from the debit of your account. All Pace University freshmen are required to have a meal plan, with the base plan starting about $1,855. All upperclassmen who live on campus are also required to have a meal plan, and commuter students can have a meal plan with a less balance in order to stay a part of Pace University. Now, what's inside of the cafeteria? Well, we have a lot of stations, so I'll just start going through them. One of my favorite stations is the sushi station, where there's a chef who makes sushi in front of you, including a poke bowl, which I didn't know what that was before I came to Pace, but now I'm very familiar with. All of the stations are primarily made to order for students, so you can interchange the different options out. We have a sandwich station, we have a pasta station, we have a smoothie bar, we have a salad bar, we have a grill station, we have grab and go sections, and a market side cafe towards the front of campus in case you want to beat the lines in the cafeteria. But if in case anything outside the CAF is not what you're fancying at the moment, you can definitely go to one of the places that offer flex dollars. As a part of our meal plan, we do have flex dollars, which are additional monies, I don't know why I say monies, additional funds used inside your PACE meal plan, which can be used at places around our campus and are actually illustrated on a wall in the cafeteria. So you can actually look at that wall or our website and see the different places that accept flex dollars. You just swipe your card there as if it was a debit card, and you'll actually be able to take that food with you. That's it about the cafeteria, and I'll be handing it over to tour guide Dory.
Hey everyone, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about our library. So our Henry Birnbaum Library is 2 floors. So the building, One Pace Plaza, is actually divided into 2 wings, the East Wing and the West Wing. And the East Wing of the library, the 2nd floor of the East Wing, is entirely dedicated to our library, so it's quite expansive, has plenty of books, as you can imagine. But on our 1st floor of the library, we have our circulation desk. They're here to help you find any book that you might need out of the many books we do have. We also have a program called Connect New York. It connects us to a bunch of different public and university libraries in the area. So if our library doesn't have what you're looking for, one of those definitely will. I had a book I had to read for my American Sign Language class that the library didn't have, but I used Connect New York to get that book, and I got it, read it, sent it back on my own time, and it was completely for free. So whatever book you're looking to get, we can get it to you. Circulation desk also has our tech desk, which has MacBooks, MacBook chargers, or calculators. So all of those and many, many more resources are available at the tech desk. You just show them your PACE ID, they scan it out, you use it for the day, and return it when you're done. It's nice and easy. And then we also have our research desk. They're here to help you with any research projects you may be doing. Your first research paper, especially as a college freshman, can be very, very daunting. So the research desk is there to help you get prepared for that. So they teach you how to navigate our library databases and get you started with a couple of really nice, reliable sources to just get you started on that paper. Then we also have a bunch of different study areas within our library. On the 1st floor, we have our Fishbowl Lounge. It's open 24/7, all day, every day. And we call it our Fishbowl Lounge because it has glass walls so you can see right into it, kind of like a fishbowl. And that's great for group study, individual study. You can bring your lunch in there if you don't want to eat in the cafeteria, etc., and so forth. And then on the 2nd floor, that's mostly dedicated to our study spaces. So then we have a bunch of group study spaces, and then the further back you go on the 2nd floor, the quieter it gets. So we have quiet study spaces. We even have a silent study space in the very back of the 2nd floor of the library. And then we have our collaborative learning room. Just to give you a visual, it kind of looks like a Panera. They just don't sell food, unfortunately. But that's another great place for group study. I was in a class called World Theater last semester, where I read a different play from a different country every single week. So me and my peers created a little book club where every week we'd go up to the collaborative learning room and read through the play, kind of like a table read. And that's how we did our homework, and it was a lot of fun, and the collaborative learning room was a great resource for that. Finally, we have our writing and our learning center. They're not physically located in the library, but this is a great stop to talk about them. The writing center helps you write any papers or essays you might have. So once you get your sources from the research desk and you have your first draft, you can head over to the writing center and they will help you out, go through it with a fine-tooth comb, make sure you're ready to get that A. And then we also have a learning center that does individualized and group study review sessions during midterms and finals season. And both of those centers are free of an upfront charge. It's included in tuition. So you just make an appointment online or do a walk-in appointment and you're all good to go. So now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our next stop, which is our Schimmel Theater. It holds about 650 people. There's an orchestra level and a balcony level. So the School of Performing Arts does 4 shows a year there, 2 plays and 2 musicals. The plays are presented by all of our acting programs and the musicals are presented by our musical theater program. And those are all audition-based opportunities. And then inside the Actors Studio actually films at the Schimmel Center, which is absolutely amazing. So people like Bradley Cooper have been interviewed on the Schimmel stage. I got to see Lupita Nyong'o get interviewed for Inside the Actors Studio, which was an incredible opportunity just to hear her wisdom and hear her experience. It was so amazing to get to go to that. And then we have a curated offering of all kinds of different shows on top of inside the Actors Studio in our School of Performing Arts. We've had Caroline Rhea from Sabrina the Teenage Witch do a comedy show. Mandy Gonzalez from the cast of Hamilton came and did a show, and the musical theater students got to sing backup for her, which was really amazing. And then we've had Q&As with people like David Dobrik and Jonathan Van Ness from Queer Eye. So a lot of really cool opportunities that PACE students get to go to either completely for free or for a discounted rate of about $5. Then we also have Amateur Night, which is an opportunity for PACE students to audition to compete for a cash prize. And this year we were going to have our a special musical guest of Drake Bell come and perform along with them. But unfortunately that event isn't happening this semester, but it was going to be amazing. And then finally, this is a union house, meaning it's an equity house. So people working towards their Actors Equity points can perform here and work there. So that's why all of these amazing professionals can do their shows here, because it is a equity house. And now I'm going to hand it back to Brooke, who's going to tell you about our fitness center.
Awesome, thanks Dory. So I know in the beginning of the tour, I talked to you a lot about our newly renovated spaces. So our fitness center is a huge part of that. So as you can imagine, the fitness center has underwent a complete renovation. So just from the time I started as a freshman to now being a junior, it's complete 360. So it's a whole new space and we're totally loving it. To begin, in that top left photo there, in the top left-hand corner, you have your basketball court. So you can see students hanging out there, working out, playing basketball. We do have intramural sports teams on campus, including a basketball team. So what that means is they are our amateur, just for fun sports teams. Our Division II sports teams are located in our Pleasantville campus in Westchester. So that's our sister campus. And if you ever do want to go see a game there, we have shuttle transportation that will bring you back and forth between the two campuses. So for me, I actually got to go to the football homecoming game last fall, and I took the shuttle there and it was great. And I got to see the game, and then I got to come back home to New York City and be a Manhattan College student again. So that's home to our intramural sports teams are here in our New York City campus. Behind that basketball court is our cardio room. On top of that, we have our weight room. So those are two facilities that are open for all PACE students. And then we also have a completely re-renovated locker room with showers behind the basketball court. So if you're not into sports, you're not into working out, like me, you'll still see the fitness center at some point during your PACE career. Dory was mentioning some of the fun events that we've held on campus, some of the cool artists that have been to PACE to put on shows for us. Sometimes that happens in the gym. So we have our PACE board, which stands for Programming and Campus Entertainment Board, and they host different shows in our gym all the time. So it's pretty neat because they can transform our gym to mirror a stage. And last semester we had Megan Thee Stallion and Carly Rae Jepsen come and put on a little concert for us. So it's pretty amazing to walk into the gym one day and then the next day it's a concert venue. So that's a little bit about our fitness center. And then I'm going to go ahead and take you to our next stop. And here, if you can imagine, we're now walking out of One PACE Plaza. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our PACE neighborhood. So as we mentioned before, PACE is all within a 5-block radius. So we are not spread across Manhattan like some city schools can be. We are within a 5-block radius, which helps definitely create a sense of community for us. So you're never going to have to take subways to get to school unless you live off campus. We're all within, like I said, that 5-block radius. So everything that you would need for PACE is all in that one area. And these are some of our other buildings. So you could see we have different buildings all along William Street there. You can see the addresses along with those photos, and I can tell you a little bit about each of those stops. So 161 and 163 William Street, that is home to, as we mentioned before, our Learning Center, as well as our Study Abroad office, among a host of other other offices, including our computer science office. Next door, we have 140 William Street, and that is a PPA building, PACE Performing Arts. So that is where the majority of the dance rooms are and the sound boxes for the actors. Next to that, we have 110 William Street, and that is an administrative office. So that is home to our call center, among other administrative offices. And next to that is 156 William Street, which is financial aid, as well as OSA, which is for student assistance. So that's a little bit about our administrative buildings. And if you can imagine, again, it's all within that close-knit area. So you're never going to have to walk too far to get to any of these places. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it back to Angel and let her take it away for our next stop.
This next stop just goes over some of our things that we offer here on campus. As you can see, the very bottom picture, I want to focus on that one first. That is the Oculus. There you have the New Jersey PATH trains, as well as some various shops. A favorite of mine was Forever 21 RIP, but now we have Sephora and Victoria's Secret in there. I also want to hit on City Hall Park. That is right across the street from One Pace Plaza. Fun fact, it actually adjoins One Pace Plaza and my boxing gym, so it's a nice little tidbit to go see. It's a beautiful waterfall and some benches and some trees surrounding it. And now I want to give it on over to Dory to talk about the next beautiful destinations that we have downtown.
Yeah, so then we have Battery Park as well, which obviously is pretty well known. And if you're ever missing trees, you can always go there, get your tree fix. It's great to walk or ride a bike, and it's right by the water, so it's absolutely beautiful. And then we also have South Street Seaport. Seaport is this adorable little area with a bunch of different shops and restaurants. A fan favorite restaurant for PACE students is Cowgirl Seahorse. Their nachos will literally change your life. I'm not exaggerating. It's amazing. And if you go towards the back of Seaport, there's a nice little secluded area where you can sit down and you can see the Brooklyn Bridge, and it's on the water, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I go there to read my books sometimes, which is really great. And now I'm going to hand it to Jeremiah, who's going to tell you about Wall Street.
Yes, Wall Street, something I never thought I'd actually get to see in the flesh when I was just living in my little home in Texas in the suburbs. But now I get to see it every day as it's only a few blocks from campus. It's truly spectacular to just walk around Wall Street and feel the atmosphere of the different people working in those buildings. I like to say at 3 times a day, you'll see the suits on the streets, and those are really all the people going into those office buildings in the morning, at lunch, and when they're leaving. And Wall Street's just a good place to be. I like a good coffee shop called Underground Coffee there. It's really good. I recommend it when you guys come here to PACE. But Wall Street's a really spectacular place to be, and it's a really cool atmosphere, especially since PACE was founded as an accounting school. It just ties it all together. But I'm going to hand it over to Brooke so she can talk about the World Trade Center.
Yeah, so I think personally, one of the most special parts of PACE's location, for those of you that might not be aware, is World Trade Center is maybe 5 blocks away. You can see the Freedom Tower from different PACE buildings. From where I lived in 33 Beekman last year, I had a slight view of the World Trade Center. I think it's of the Freedom Tower rather, and I think it's really special. I've gotten to go down there quite a few times, and it's really a great experience, especially as a New Yorker. Just for job opportunities too, there are so many companies located in that area that you don't even realize sometimes, and it's such a short commute for us, so I think it's really awesome. In addition to that, the Brooklyn Bridge is literally right next to One Pace Plaza. When you are driving over the Brooklyn Bridge, you can't not see our school. So we're right there, we're right in your face. The Brooklyn Bridge is so fun to walk across when it's warm out, of course, and it leads you right into Dumbo. So it's the actual bridge between PACE and other areas in New York. So I think it's a really special part of PACE culture, and we have it right there for us, and it's accessible for all PACE students. Great, so we're gonna go ahead to our next stop, and I'm gonna hand it off to Angel.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. So this is 41 Park Row. It's another building that we here have at PACE. It's right across the street from One Pace Plaza. Again, it was newly renovated, as you can see in that first picture. Those are some student spaces. I also love to point out physically on tour, that's the second floor of 41 Park Row. There's a piano right beneath that floor. I love to point out that I do take donations to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. However, you do not want to hear that virtually. So in this building, we have an art gallery. As you can see in the second picture, we love to showcase our art students just to give them a chance to shine, show their talents. We also have career services in this building. Career services is something that we talked about previously with panels, and again, throughout this whole tour, just to get your resume in order, just to make sure that you are good to go professionally in your field of study. We have our Dyson Advising in this building. This is the hub of the Dyson College of Arts and Sciences. Your advising will happen in this building. Every student is given an advisor, regardless of your major or school, business, science, School of Ed. Even if you're undecided, you are given an advisor to make sure that you are good to go in regards to registration and making sure that you are acclimated to Pace University life, reinsuring that community. Again, student spaces are right there. It's a beautiful picture, beautiful modern little chairs. They're nice to sit on. You can honestly get lost in homework down there. I trust that. We also have our student development, the Center for Student Development and Campus Activities. They just, again, reinsure that we have a community atmosphere at Pace in regards to clubs. We have our career-focused clubs, as I previously mentioned, and our cultural clubs, such as Sabor Latino and Black Student Union, as well as our Greek life. I am personally part of Kappa Delta Sorority, along with Brooke and a panelist named Grace that you guys previously talked to. So again, just reinsuring that community atmosphere, making sure that students are comfortable and safe regardless of however they represent themselves. Speaking on that, we have an LGBTQA center, making sure that every student has an ally on campus, reinsuring that community atmosphere, making sure you're safe and feel community and comfortable within this campus and atmosphere. So again, we went under renovations. However, a little fun fact that I love to point out is that this was the original New York Times building, just grounding us in New York society and historical atmosphere in New York City and the downtown campus alone. So I will be now moving it on to our residence halls. So just to point out the various different residence halls that we have here on campus, the first picture you're looking at is 182 Broadway. It's within a 5-block radius. It's a full freshman residence hall. Second picture is Maria's Tower. We will be speaking about the two first ones, 182 Broadway and Maria's Tower, today on this tour. Maria's Tower is also a freshman residence hall. It adjoins to our One Pace Plaza, directly above our cafeteria and library. Amazing if you just want to take the elevator down to class. Very convenient. Our third picture is 33 Beekman. It's an upperclassman residence hall. I personally have lived there the past 2 years, and again, I think I'm living there next year. We shall see. Fingers crossed. It's an amazing residence hall. Our very last picture is 55 John Street. Again, another residence hall. So as we are virtually walking over to 182 Broadway, I would have mentioned some flex stops. Again, we mentioned flex dollars in our past slide. We have our flex stops such as CVS. I would have pointed out Chipotle, Rosella's Pizzeria, and Potbelly Sandwich Shop. As we would have walked over 182 Broadway, we also would have saw Fulton Center. It's a hub for many of the subways. It's right across the street from 182 Broadway, so you would have seen all that there. And also, if it's ever raining or snowing out, you can go directly across the street without getting rained on or a snowflake on your nose. So as we look at 182 Broadway, we will see that is a suite styles type of living environment with 24-hour security. So again, if you do not have access to that residence hall, if you don't live there, you do not have access to that residence hall. Anything that you see that is made out of wood is included in the building. So the desk, the bed frame, the closet, the chair, it's all in there. We also include a mini microwave and a mini fridge in there as well, and a private bathroom. You do have to include your own toiletries and cleaning supplies. Don't worry, cleaning is fine as long as you talk to your roommates. If not, you have an RA on every floor that will assist you in that process to make sure that the transition is easy to residential life. So this building has mostly triples, 50% triples, 25% quads, and 25% doubles. I personally lived in a triple my freshman year. I could tell you it is very spacious. We did many gymnastic lessons in there. We did dance classes. We did multiple things in there. Is very spacious, and you're good to go with 182 Broadway. So although it may seem a little secluded, as it is a co-ed dorming environment, RA on every floor, private bathroom, it might not seem as communal as you think. However, RAs make it a priority to have their community come together through various events. Those will most likely take place on the 4th floor. There's a common area, a screening room, a kitchen, a gym, a laundry room. Do not worry, laundry is included in tuition. No need to bring those quarters. My grandpa gave me a whole bunch of quarters, but I did not need them. I put them in my bag. So now we're moving forward to our communal living environment for freshmen. I will be giving it on over to Jeremiah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Maria's Tower. Quite literally, that's where I am right now. You guessed it. So you guys get an actual insight into Maria's Tower itself. It is actually my favorite residence hall on campus. And of course, I'm a little bit biased because I'm staying there. But right now, I have a great view from the Brooklyn Bridge if I look out to my right. And I have all of the amenities in this building, same as you would in 182 Broadway. And so that's what I'm going to talk to you a little bit about, how they're differently spaced out. Maria's Tower is an all-freshman residence hall, like Angel said, and it's just one elevator switch on the 6th floor on the east side of One Pace Plaza. You go right on up to floor 7, all the way up to 16, and you'll find residence halls. Some of the floors are themed, i.e. green floor or vine floor or things of that nature, and some floors are just standard with RAs having fun and making the theme of the floor more interactive for their residents. On the 17th floor, we have our laundry facilities, and you don't have to worry about bringing your quarters or anything like that. You definitely just have to bring your laundry detergent and your dryer sheets, and you're all good to go. We also have kitchenettes on every other floor in Maria's Tower. Fun fact, 2 of the floors actually have walk-in closets. So that's just a fun little fact about Maria's Tower that a lot of students enjoy when they walk into the room and find out that there's walk-in closets. But just like Angel said about 182 Broadway, all of the wooden objects in the room come for every student. So every student gets a bed, a dresser, a desk chair, and a wardrobe, if not a walk-in closet. And Maria's Tower is a more communal style of living. There are 4 communal bathrooms on every single floor, and they're ratioed out by gender. So if there's more girls than guys, maybe there's 3 girl bathrooms and 1 guy bathroom. That's the case on my floor. I remember a funny story of my friends, the boys on the floor trying to petition to get an extra bathroom. It failed miserably. There's only like 6 of us, but it was quite funny. But yeah, it's a more communal style living. There's a professional cleaning staff that cleans those bathrooms 3 times a day, and they do a very good job of it. So I personally enjoy not having to clean my own bathroom, but I totally understand, like in 182 Broadway, if you do want that more secluded style of living and your own bathroom. But that's the differences between Maria's Tower and 182 Broadway. In the My Housing portal, you actually have the opportunity to prefer which residence hall you'd like to stay in. And although those preferences aren't guaranteed, they're definitely looked at by the advisors who make these decisions. So make sure as you're looking through these virtual tours and some of the videos on our websites about housing, by one of the people you heard from earlier, Sharina, she actually does a video talking about the different residence hall options and goes into further detail, and I think you guys would really enjoy that video. And then you can prefer on the My Housing portal which residence hall you would like to stay in. But moving on from there, I think I'm going to hand it back to the Welcome Center manager, Kim.
Hello, welcome. So excited to be with y'all. As Jeremiah said, I am the Welcome Center manager of our New York City campus. And while I have a mic, fun facts about me, I'm also a Pace University alum. I graduated from our New York City campus in 2013 with my degree in communication studies, and I minored in political science. I'm also currently a graduate student at Pace, studying for my master's in public administration. So I know a whole lot about Pace. I was a Maria's Tower girl myself, so I'm right there with you, Jeremiah, love her. And so as you can see, we are going to move into the question portion of our virtual campus tour. Thanks to all the tour guides for sharing a whole bunch of information and kind of virtual look at Pace. And as we are talking about all the deciding factors, all the reasons that might make someone choose Pace, I kind of want to know from y'all, what is the reason that you stay at Pace? So what keeps you coming back? What makes you so excited and so sure of your decision? Any kind of experiences you want to share? We'll start with Brooke, then Jeremiah, then Dory, then Angel.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks so much, Kim. So I really don't want this to sound cheesy, but it's totally genuine that Pace has become my home. And being away from it and being virtual with all of you makes me miss it even more. And I'm definitely missing my lifestyle. I'm missing being a student every day. And I think there's something to say there. There's something to be said that I am lucky enough to be at a school that makes me miss it when I'm not there. And every single day, I feel confident in the college decision I made. So I wish that for all of you prospective students. But just to answer your question, Kim, basically what I love so much about Pace is that I get to be a student, but I also get to be a professional, and I get to grow every single day, both personally and professionally. So on campus, I get to be a tour guide and I get to be a peer leader. I can work on our school newspaper, and I can be a part of a sorority, yet I can commute every single day to Times Square and work at Viacom. So I just don't think that I would have gotten that anywhere else. And it's become such a special part of my life, and Pace is one of the biggest parts of my heart, and I miss it so much. I miss, commuting to work and giving tours in real life. So that's just a little bit about what I do at Pace. And I'm excited for when we get back to finish out my senior year and have some really cool internships. I'm so excited to work at Nickelodeon and to just to be a student in real life again.
Thanks, bro. Jeremiah, why do you
Yeah,
stay?
and going off of what Brooke said, not to be cheesy either, Pace is my home, and quite literally, I have a little anecdote. Back home right now, my mom is actually deciding to move homes because they've decided they want to switch where they're living. And so like my childhood home is being switched and I'm at Pace. And so right now I'm like, Pace is the place that I'm most familiar with being, because when I go back home, it'll be somewhere I've never been before. So Pace really during this time in my life has really cemented a place that I can actually call home. And just looking out this window right now and seeing New York City, the thing that I like most about Pace that's keeping me here is that Pace proved me right. And I came to Pace without ever stepping foot on its campus. And I learned everything about it through online and a gut feeling I had that it was the right place to be. And I liked that Pace actively fought to prove me right, that I belonged at Pace. In most schools, you just arrive and you hope you made the right decision. And maybe it takes a year or two to figure out if you have or have not. But within literally day 3, and it was actually on day 3, I like said out loud, like, okay, I made the right decision. So now I'm happy being here at Pace. I know I've made the right decision, and I'm happy to call Pace home. And I'm going to hand it to Dory.
Yeah, so I continue to stay at Pace, honestly, for the same reasons I chose to come to Pace in the first place. My acting program specifically is very specialized in what we do. We focus on devised theater training, which is, I kind of sort of mentioned it when I gave my Pace path, but we focus on completely original work. And being in the performing arts, it's really important to take ownership of your work and what you do. And my program is really teaching me how to do that, because not only do I get to act in shows, I get to help write them and lighting design them and costume design them. I have a hand in almost every aspect of the shows that we create and the pieces we create, which is such a thrilling and amazing experience. And I also chose Pace in my program specifically because when I was looking at schools, the people I met during my accepted student event that I got to go to, I thought, okay, these are the people I want to work with. These are the people I want to be like while I'm in college and once I graduate college. And that has stayed true to this day. The people I've met at Pace are my lifelong friends and peers and coworkers in not only my program, but the Welcome Center as well as a tour guide. So definitely the people and just my program specifically and what they're training me to do. So Angel, why'd you stay at Pace?
Thanks, Dory. But I stay at Pace because I'm very different in California than I am in New York City. In California, I have a lot of responsibilities to do with my family. I take care of them. However, in New York City, I am my own entity. I am having my own responsibilities to do with my own career, my own path. So Brooke kind of touched on this, but constantly being busy is what I thrive on and what I live off of. So being busy is honestly why I stayed at Pace, and having the various opportunities to be a tour guide, to be an ambassador, to work at a boxing gym, to have a sorority, to like do various things, but also stay true to who I am and my responsibilities is something that I have learned at Pace University. And it's something that I take with me even to California now as I'm trying to get a routine underway, but also the community atmosphere. I like hint on community all throughout my whole tours, but it's something that has kept me at Pace University because I was extremely homesick when I first came, and then having my advisors, having students that I could count on, mentors, everything, I was able to stay and truly call Pace University my home. But that's just why I stayed at Pace University.
Thanks, y'all. Those are such great answers, and that's something that we do when we end our tours normally in person, is the tour guides get to share some of the reasons that they chose and stayed at Pace. So we want to include that today for you virtually. And as I am asking the tour guides questions, now is the time for y'all to ask the tour guides questions as well. So in that chat, please feel free to add questions. If you have specifically a question for one tour guide or for all the tour guides, that is your chance now to kind of hear from the students and hear their perspective and experiences. And as we are waiting for questions to come in, for the tour guides, I did see that someone asked about early arrival. And for my tour guides who are coming from faraway places, if you kind of want to talk about maybe if you have tips for what to pack, how to plan, if you had an early arrival experience, that is something you can request through housing. But yeah, I'll hand the mic back over.
Yeah, I guess I'll start off taking this one. I actually hinted with taking a move-in early option as well, just because I was coming from Texas. I'd never been to New York City before, and I wanted to buy the plane ticket when I was 100% sure I was coming to Pace, and I didn't want to make any mistakes. So I wanted to get that early arrival. But actually, with working with housing, I found that they were very accommodating with the schedule. They have a very orderly way of doing move-in day. I know that's a big thing about college is move-in day and how's that going to look like with New York City, everything's vertical. And they actually do a really good job of making sure everyone moves in at the right times on certain floors. And they actually gave me an extension so I could move in at a different time when my plane landed. So definitely if you're worried about the time you have to leave and how many family members are available to help you move in, just know Pace is really accommodating. They have a lot of tips and guides that actually give all of the incoming students a list of do's and don'ts of what not to bring and what to bring. I know that's a common question. I was like, what can I bring to put in my dorm? What should I be packing? They actually give you a really comprehensive list and all of that stuff. And I mean, all of that stuff. It had everything I wasn't even really thinking about bringing on the list. And I think that was really helpful. So if you are thinking about moving in early, just consider making sure that it's because you have to move in early and that Pace is really accommodating otherwise. And it's really helpful.
So Dory and Angel, coming from faraway states, any tips, what you should pack, how to best arrive, be prepared for first day of classes?
I can go next, Dory. Okay, thanks, babe. So what I did coming from California is I brought suitcases full of my clothes and I bought everything at New York City. So, you know, within your dorm, you have everything, the bed frame, the mattress, the desk, everything there. So all I had to buy was like my decorations. I had to buy my laundry detergent, my comforter for my mattress, like everything was there. I didn't have to lug anything crazy heavy to the residence hall. So all I did was just pretty much buy everything there and then go along with it. I also suggest if you're coming from out of state, do come a little bit early to get acclimated to New York society and the time difference. I didn't think it was going to really affect me, but it really hit me the weekend after the first week of classes. So that's just my little tidbit to give to you guys. I will let Dory take it on away.
Mine is oddly specific. As I said earlier, I stayed in a residential hall my freshman year, and I brought plastic drawers for extra clothes and storage space. And that was actually really important for me to bring because I just have a lot of clothes. And for my specific residential hall, I didn't have a closet. Some residential halls, or 182 Broadway and Maria's Tower, both include closets, but mine did not. So that was really important for me to have that. So yeah, that would be my main tip. Bring extra drawers just in case you need extra storage space for clothes.
I like that. All very useful advice for folks thinking about living on campus. And I'm going to take it to Jeremiah. And I have, as I see folks asking questions, I'm making notes of them. So don't worry if you've asked a question for our students, I have it right here. And ask again if we don't get the chance. But going on to the next question I saw for the tour guides. Jeremiah, could you speak a little bit to the political science PACE path and your experience studying political science at PACE?
Yes, I'm very excited I chose PACE to do political science at. They have a wonderful program with very comprehensive professors who know what they're doing, which I find is very important for anything you're doing in life. Just to compare, I was also accepted to Howard University, and they have a political science program that everyone talks about there. But at Pace University, I just felt a more personal connection to the people I was talking to. The emails they were responding with me were more personable. They were responding more timely. And at Pace University, taking political science courses, they're actually really engaging. There's a lot of different tracks you can go under the political science major. For myself, since I'm double majored with journalism, I kind of have a diverging track with both of those majors, but you can definitely focus more on international relations. You can focus on with minors in international business. You can focus on criminal and justice studies, all kinds of different things from political theory, analysis, or just the overarching theme of political science. But there's good community. The Political Science Society, which I mentioned, I was an e-board member as the communications director of. I would recommend if you're a political science major student incoming to PACE that you follow the PACE Political Science Society on Instagram. That way you can get a part of the community of all the political science majors and definitely talk with them and get some connections, including myself, to help you get acclimated. You'll really find a lot of people who like to talk about politics and do so in a very mostly non-judgmental way. It's very, of course, passionate, but never disrespectful or anything out of the ordinary. And that's something I really like about PACE and political science.
Thanks, Jeremiah. As a political science minor, formerly myself at PACE, I can only echo everything you're saying. I was also part of Model UN as a PACE student and got to travel around the world through that and with the support of PACE. So there's a lot of opportunities out there. I was more on the international relations side, but really there's so many opportunities and paths within the political science field at PACE. But moving to another question I saw, and Brooke, since we have not heard from you in a little bit, I'm going to ask you, since I know you definitely have kind of the tips on this. How do you make friends at PACE? Is it difficult to make friends? What advice would you have for that?
Yeah, that's a great question and totally a valuable question as well. I was nervous coming into PACE as any college student because I was coming in with virtually no friends. I met a couple people at orientation, but I was still nervous to get involved and put myself forward, which is a total joke now because, as these tour guides know, I am so involved on campus. So I definitely got out of my comfort zone a little bit there, or a lot of it. But I think the key to making friends at PACE is getting involved. And I think in college in general and in life, what you put in is what you get out of it. So for me, I joined the newspaper, I became a tour guide, I joined a sorority, and those were great ways for me to make friends. But I also, usually when I'm on tour in person, I like to share a little anecdote as well. I lived in Maria's Tower, shout out Jeremiah, because you're there right now, my freshman year. And what's so special about Maria's Tower, as Jeremiah was saying, is it's totally a communal living style. Broadway is an equally great way to make friends, I just want to say, but I've never lived there, so I'm just speaking on personal experience. I met my best friend in Maria's Tower. She lived on my floor, and if it wasn't for Maria's Tower, I don't think I would have ever met her because she's a business major. She's not in a sorority. She's in a totally different club. We just don't run in the same circles. But like I said, I met her on my floor, and we have an apartment together in Manhattan, and I can't imagine being at PACE without her. She's one of the biggest parts of my PACE career. So I think that, again, getting involved and just putting yourself out there, things happen naturally. And you'll start meeting people who are like-minded. And PACE is honestly home to really accepting people. And everyone is just wanting to put their best foot forward. And they're nice. Is that cheesy to say that people at PACE are nice? But that's the advice I have. I've had nothing but great experiences to share. One of my best friends is my little in my sorority. So I was her tour guide, fun fact. So there's just a little fun fact for you. I was her tour guide when I was a freshman. But anyway, that's enough about me. If any of the other tour guides want to share some little tidbits as well.
Yeah. Best tips making friends. Anyone else tour guide wise?
Be cool. I mean, people like fun people. I don't know what to say. I just feel like a lot of people come to college and they think that suddenly they're going to disappear into this cloud and find no friends and it's going to be lonely. And I don't think that at all. I think even if you're introverted, which as you can tell, I'm clearly not, but I do have a lot of introverted friends. And I recognize that when they just let themselves be themselves in front of other people will gravitate to you. You'll make friends. Once you join the clubs you're interested in, you talk passionately in those, you meet with people on campus, and let's not forget, in New York City, where there's a lot of people also, you definitely make friends and connections. And so I think just being personable, even if you're shy, just saying hey to someone, maybe they just say hey and then say what's up, and then you respond to that, and then you keep talking, and then now you're friends. I think that's really important. So especially coming from far away, where I knew no one at PACE, I made friends pretty easily just by talking to people and just saying, hey, let's go do this, and reaching out to the people who weren't talking as much and saying, hey, you're coming with me. So that's just a good way to make friends and making sure everyone feels connected, because that's a huge part of PACE.
I think another great resource for making friends, especially before you even get on campus, is our PACE Bound Online that Angel and Jeremiah are ambassadors for. So if you want to start making friends before you even get to PACE, definitely check that out. We had people that came to our last in-person PACE Bound who had been talking online for a really long time, and they all ran together and they were hugging each other. They were so excited to finally meet each other. So that's a really great resource for you to make friends before you're even physically on campus.
Amazing. And actually, Dory, as you are talking, we do have a question for you in the chat about someone who has been accepted to the BA acting program. Yay, congrats to you. That's so exciting. And kind of was just wondering about performing opportunities, auditions are offered, where they help with programs, kind of that information.
Yeah, definitely. So first of all, congrats. I hope I get to see you in the fall next semester. But so for our program specifically, we have 2 built-in main stage production opportunities within our program. So the show I talked about that I did at the beginning of my PACE Path postmortem about the funeral home, that was a part of my curriculum basically. It's not technically a class, but we have mandatory rehearsals twice a week for that process, your second semester freshman year and your first semester, or your second semester freshman year and your first semester sophomore year. And you do a workshop presentation of your piece in May, and then it goes up at a venue as a PACE main stage your first semester sophomore year. And then your senior year, we do what's called the New Original Works Festival, which is short for Now Festival. And that's when our program gets divided into small ensembles. So one director has about 2 to 4 actors, depending on how many people are in your year. And you get to create a show on your own. And we have a class that like facilitates the work. And then it goes up as another PACE main stage production. And then you can also audition for the main stage plays. So all the plays that go up at the Schimmel Center, which I talked about earlier, you can also audition for those. This past semester, we did a Midsummer's Night's Dream. I wasn't a part of it, but I got to see it and it was amazing. It was Midsummer's Night's Dream with the soundtrack of Madonna, and it was a really cool piece. It was a lot of fun to watch and get to support my friends who were in it. But you also get to audition for the main stage plays. Those are open to all the acting majors, so BA acting, BFA acting, and BFA acting for film, television, voiceovers, and commercials. So those are our main stage opportunities.
Amazing. Thank you, Dory. And so we have time for our chat folks to ask one more question. And as someone is typing that question, of course, if you do ask another question and we aren't able to answer it now, we will reach out to folks and answer those. But as someone is typing that one question, I will ask the tour guides one in the meantime, a quick short one, a little fun. Share with us, if you could, your favorite New York City experience that you've had so far, or a moment that you kind of were like, wow, I love going to school in New York City, for all the tour guides. You might need to think about it.
I can go first. I just didn't want to talk like I always do, but I'll do it. I'm here.
Take it away, Jeremiah.
It's something that a lot of people who live in New York can't believe, but it was when I went to Staten Island. I'm cheap, and I didn't want to pay to go to the base of the Statue of Liberty because I didn't know it cost that much or it required that much effort to get tickets to that. By the way, plan that well in advance. It's very hard to do. So I got on the Staten Island ferry for free with a group of about 14 friends, and we went past the Statue of Liberty and took photos of it. And that was really fun because we were all seeing it for the first time and just watching everyone go, wow. Like, it was truly something special. And then when we got to Staten Island, 4 of us decided to stay. And the other 10 went back because they said, what is there to do in Staten Island? But the 4 of us that stayed had the best time I think I've ever had just walking around Staten Island. And that is forever probably going to be my favorite memory of being at PACE. I don't really think anything could top it at all.
Oh, I love that.
I could go next. I don't really know if I have a specific moment where I was like, I love PACE, but I remember last PACEbound or something, we were all exhausted, but we all got through it, and then we all went to like Cowgirl Seahorse. So just having that moment where like we have this communal place that we're all gonna go, Cowgirl Seahorse and Seaport. When you guys go to PACE, you gotta go. Amazing nachos. Mwah. But just having that place or like that restaurant that like you know that you love and that everyone loves, that is probably my favorite part about like, oh, I love PACE, because the whole society and community has a like-minded idea of like what is amazing, especially when it comes to food. I'm a big foodie, but also just in classes as well, like having that community atmosphere. I just love community, as I continuously talk about it, but I'll give the mic on over to someone else now.
There are so many moments, like just being in New York and being at Pace, where I feel so grateful for my position and that I'm able to attend college, and that specifically it's Pace. But something that came to mind while you all were talking, and thank you guys for sharing, and I'm trying to tie it back to being an academic student as well, is I took a class this time last year with an adjunct professor, and an adjunct professor is someone that currently works in their field while teaching at Pace. It was a communications course with Professor Arti Maharaj, for any of you that may know her, and I performed as well as I could in the class, and at the end of the semester, she was invited to a Women in Media conference and couldn't attend, so offered for me to attend on her behalf. So I got to go, and it was uptown, I think on the Upper East Side, and I just felt so professional, and I felt like I was totally embracing Pace and being a professional in the industry. And there were some famous people there. The star of Orange is the New Black, if any of you like that show. So it was a really cool experience. And then just some personal stuff too. Angel, I'm going to emphasize what you said. I love going to Seaport, and as someone who's from Long Island, I love being by the water. So there's such a cool spot there on Pier 17 where you can overlook the water and see the Brooklyn Bridge, and if you go at night, it's all lit up. And sometimes I just sit there and I'm like, wow, I am a really lucky person. So that's my favorite spot.
My favorite memory of just being in New York is I get to see Broadway shows a lot. As Michael mentioned, who was on the panel earlier, we get to go at a discounted rate or for free to a bunch of different shows. But I got to see the 2019 revival of Oklahoma, and I'm not kidding, it changed my life. And Kim and I have talked about it. Kim got to see it, and it was just an amazing show, and I actually got to see it multiple times. So just getting to see a Broadway show like over and over again was such a surreal moment, because it was like, oh, I live here now, and like this is what I'm studying to do someday. And it was a great moment, and it's definitely one of my favorite memories, is getting to see that show over and over and over again.
Tori, Casey, do you know I was drinking out of my Oklahoma mug just for you today?
Oh my god. I love it.
So all those moments, I share so many and think of those moments fondly, those kind of stuff as well. So thank you all, tour guides. Since we have not had another question come in, I am going to assume that folks need some more time for those questions to form. So after today, please, when that question pops into your mind in a day, 2 days from now, reach out to us, connect with us. The tour guides would love, love, love to answer those questions and hear more and connect more with you, because we hope to see you in the fall, in the future. And as we are wrapping up our virtual tour, I will thank all the tour guides. Thank you so much for sharing your insights and giving everyone a virtual look at our campus. I'm going to hand it back over to Nicole, who is going to speak with you before we end today.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you, tour guides. Thank you, panelists. Thank you, Andre. Thank you, President Krislov. It has been my absolute pleasure today to be with you, admitted students and your families. We had a great time hosting you virtually at Pace University's New York City campus, and we can't wait to meet you in person, because we are so excited to bring in a new class for the fall. As you can see, we have a lot of energetic students. We are all about community, and we have so many events scheduled this month, next month, and forums for you to connect, to continue to connect with us. You will, if you haven't joined Pacebound Online yet, please do so that you can connect with some other admitted students. Go to pace.edu/stay connected, and you'll see the next events that we will be hosting for you. They will be based on your majors. They will be about honors. We have a whole slew of options for you. So please join us. We're still offering campus tours every day virtually. And follow us on Spotify. Add your songs. We have a new Spotify account just for you. So as I mentioned to someone in the chat, we are doing our best to get you your new Pace University t-shirt as we congratulate you again on your acceptance to Pace and welcome you to the Pace University community. It has been our pleasure to be with you today, and we look forward to continuing to talk with you virtually and welcoming you in person to Pace University. Thank you, and have a great day, and please be well.